And there's two. Right guys, now we're going to have a look at birds, which generally, when we look at birds of prey, don't live together. Now these guys are very, very interesting. You'll find with Harrisauks that they actually live and hunt as packs. Now you'll notice with Phoenix here, that's Odin up on there, they have a very long tail, they have very, very long legs, and they have short, more rounded wings. These are bird specialists as well as mammal specialists, so they can hunt birds in flight as well as mammals along the ground. Now Harrisauks are found over many parts of America. You'll find that these guys live and hunt as a group, and offspring have been reported staying with their parents for up to 3 to 5 years. Now staying with your parents for 3 to 5 years, you don't get a free ride. You have to basically play a role. So what you'll find with Harrisauks is that older birds will look after younger birds look after very, very young birds, and they're just family orientated. Now you can see with these guys that their eyes are on the side of the head, which gives them a much better ability to see, almost 360-degree ability. With the owl, it only sees directly in front. You can see they're quite agile on the floor. These guys will actually run around on the floor. They will run into cover, and they will chase mammals out. So just like a sparrow going into a hedge to flush out a rabbit or a pheasant, these guys do exactly the same. Now with Harrises, they are much more switched on. As you can see, they generally watch the right hand. When the right hand moves, that's when the bird reacts. So they are more focused. Should have done the health and safety part at the beginning about warning you guys, but if they do sit on these tall perches, what goes in the front does come out the back, but we've got past that point, so we'll just carry on. So with the Harrisauks, they hunt as a pack, okay? And that's what we're going to try and demonstrate, okay? So we're going to basically give that young man an opportunity, and then I've got to try and make this fair. I'm going to go for that guy just there. Yeah, there's nobody behind you, mate. You. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Yeah, he looks well slappy about that, doesn't he? Okay. Now, obviously they do hunt as packs. Okay. Now, at the minute, you don't really look like anything appetizing. Okay, so we've got to try and make this a bit more interesting, all right? So, in me little box of tricks, we're going to stick them on your head.
Oh, gosh.
And we're going to stick these on, is that a haircut or a nest? Right then. Okay. They look stupid now. They really do. Right then. Now, if I was to say to you on your marks, get set, go, not a lot's really going to happen. Okay? So, we're going to bring somebody else. So what I need is one of you guys to stand here, one of you guys to stand over here. Okay? So that's the first bit. All right, calm down. All you've got to do in a minute, is anyone else coming out? All you've got to do in a minute, okay, is when I say on your marks, get set, go, you've got to leg it that direction. All right?
Oh, God, here we go.
Liam, he is a first aider. Did you pass it? No, you didn't pass it. Right, okay. So anyway, Liam's got a first aid box. Whether he knows what to do with it is another thing. All right. So let's bring somebody else into the party. So in my little box here, I have 2 wooden handles. Let's get that back in there. Attached to these 2 wooden handles are a couple of mates of mine. I'll refer to them as legless. Okay. We're in a minute. What happens if you fall over?
Not a good question.
Right, so in a minute, you're going to feel a little tug like that. And when you feel that little tug, you stop running, drop the handles, take a wide berth, come back up to me. Now everyone's going to be behind you, everyone's going to support you. Okay, right. I'll give you a head start. There's your head start. Right, this is when you need 3 hands. Right, you go back up there. Odin, whenever you're ready, mate, we're over here. We haven't finished yet. Come on. Right, that's it. Okay. Now I'm going to bring these 2 out and I'm going to hold them here. Get out of it, you little weasel. Because I've got a multitask now. Right, you ready? Right, I'm fine. Don't worry about that. It's his side, not mine. Right, you ready? Right, okay, you're alive, right, okay. You guys ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's try it with A. On your marks, get set, go! That's carnage again, wasn't it?
It's like when
What happened to yours? Your handle came off, didn't it? Right, he's now retrieving it back to that one. Right. Jeez. It's work in progress. We're working on it. Right, let's give him a round of applause.
Hey.
So you're in 2 minutes and you start breaking everything. I mean, that's not very good, is it, mate? Right, thank you very much. Right, it is something where... Is that you? That was you, wasn't it? That was you. Well, it wasn't me. I stood this side. Who was it then? I'm going to blame you anyway. I ain't taking the blame for that. Now, you can see the 2 Harris Hawks down there. Obviously, they're protecting their food. What they're doing is making themselves bigger. Hang on 2 seconds. Now, because Harris Hawks are very focused, very switched on birds, you actually find that they learn very, very quickly. So if we just open that up, it just jumps in that box just like that. And then, what should happen is I should open this box up. And once Liam stops playing with the Harris Hawk down there, you can see the bird making himself bigger. He's making himself larger. It's the only way they can really intimidate airborne predators. Phoenix, come on. Come on in. That's it, good man. So as he comes in, straight back in the box, just like...
Hey.
So we're going to get worse. Once Luke finds out what's happened to his plan, that's really going to get worse. Right, okay. You all right? That's calm. Yeah. Okay, Joey. No. You've got to stay here, Joey. That's what we spoke about at the beginning, yeah? I know you've probably gone in there and had a little nap at some point as well. Right then, guys, any questions?
Gosh, he's a young volunteer.
Hang on. Yes. That's referred to as cheating. Look, that's what these are for. I'm here to help you. So what you are?
Okay.
Another name?
But I thought Bone and Harm were going to do them.
Have you bought raffle tickets yet? No? If I give you the answer, you're going to buy raffle tickets? You sure?
It's alright, I'm going to drop someone in it.
Yeah, but how do you know she's right? She might be wrong. I'll tell you what, I'll give you this one. Yeah? Spell this. Parabutio unicinctus unicinctus.
Alright, so here we have a much smaller bird. This is a topaz. White-faced owl. They're a fantastically cute little species. You can see he is tiny. They only weigh about 200 grams, making them a really, really small predator. So he's not going to be quite as ferocious as the other birds we've had. Can anyone hear me? Is that really loud? No! I've been told to set it to that part. I don't want to hear it. Is that a bit better?
Yeah.
Fantastic, we'll go with that. This is a northern white-faced owl. They're a fantastic little bird, and they are quite a ferocious little predator for the tiny size they are. Now, this is fully grown. A lot of people ask, is that a big bird there? No, he's about 200 grams, and that's as big as he will ever get. Because he's really not designed to take on much larger prey. His food will predominantly be made up of small insects such as insects, centipedes, scorpions, spiders. That's pretty much the meal he's going to be working with, because those feet are not able to do too much more than that. There's something quite distinctive about this bird. I'm afraid I don't have control. If I talk constantly and be quiet, would that work better? Yeah, perfect. So those lovely tall little tufts on top of his head, they're called ear tufts. And for these birds, they are very, very useful. It's a pretty good way of making sure you are very well camouflaged and also telling everyone else how you're feeling. So Topaz there, you can see he's made himself a little bit skinnier and he's made his eyes those nice bit slits. That's because he's seen an aeroplane. That's pretty much all. He hates them. They are terrifying big birds for him and he wants to stay nice and still. Again, small bird, there's not much he can really do to defend himself, so he's going to make himself really nice and small. Those eye slits are going to mean you cannot see those really nice orange eyes, and it just blend in so much better. These being an African species will be predominantly blending with thorn trees and nice, really dry oak. That is going to be the perfect coloration for their camouflage, which will allow them to sit there and blend as well as they possibly can. They can stay nice and still and really have no issues at all. However, of course, predators are going to see that he's going to be a lovely small bite-sized bird, so what he's going to have to do is change his body shape slightly in order to protect himself. One way he can do this really, really well is by tucking in all his feathers and making himself really tall and really skinny, almost like he did with the plane there. That is going to be really, really useful to him because it blends right with the tree. It's going to look like a very small branch, and by doing this, he's really going to be unspotable. The other way he can help himself is also by making himself nice and skinny. It makes him look lethargic and ill. That is not going to be a piece of food you want to take down, so quite frankly, they will leave him alone and let him just enjoy the rest of his day. You going to get back on that? See, he's looking around, he's seeing what else is going on. Those ear tufts are exactly like eyebrows, so we can tell he's very comfortable right now, and he's happy. If those ear tufts are pointed directly upwards against a larger predator, like the plane, he's going to be very worried. Those ear tufts are tucked straight on his head, he's trying to hide from something potentially a similar size to him. Now, as I said, larger predators are going to make sure these guys skinny up and make themselves really nice and small. Predators are similar size to them, say he's competing with another northern white-faced owl, he's going to puff those feathers up and make himself look about 3 times bigger. Sorry. One of the most aggressive pom-poms you've really ever seen. That's about all they can really do to defend themselves. You can see he's spotted a nice buzzard up there as well, so those ear tufts have come back up. He's starting to do a few vocalisations just to make sure he's going to safe. Now Topaz here is in no danger at all because he's near us. We're much, much bigger, we're much more threatening to those birds. You know, they're not going to come down because we are effectively large predators, but he doesn't quite know that. He's still seeing them as a potential threat, really, wanting to stay nice and far away. Now, eyes always look impressive for owls. They're really nice and big, and they look like they're taking in a lot of information, which is why these guys are look so wide. But they're really only good for a distance. But Topaz here, he can't see anything up close. So if I show you a bit of food, he's just going to nibble around using those whiskers to try and find where his food is. But when he does find that meal, he's going to bite on, take that little food, and make sure he's nice and comfortable around his parents. So it'd be like you guys taking your kids a bowl of food, and they punch you in the face every time they come up to you. Not going to get the food in the future. So you want to be really nice and careful and really take care of yourself the best you can. You see, Topaz really doesn't want to get back up, so I think we're going to cut it short there. Does anyone have any questions about this bird? We'll try that. And we can answer questions. Yeah, sorry, you got a question. Go on. With these ones, it's very difficult to tell. It's pretty much any size. So they're very small. The female's going to be about a third larger on average, and that's going to be a really easy way of telling them apart. But that's only going to add a couple grams. Really, there's no other differences we can look for with these guys. They're pretty much identical. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, go on. What's on their diet? It's going to be insects in the wild. So pretty much the same prey a meerkat's going to take down. Yeah, take scorpions, spiders, other insects. Usually they're able to dive down quick enough. Owls are a silent predator, so they're not going to see them coming. They're going to be able to dive down and grab onto the back. They're immune to the venom, aren't they? Yeah. Exactly, so they're all very, very good at what they do. Exactly. Helps them very, very well. Easy kill that. Yeah.
The man doesn't know.
They'll vary very slightly, but it's not going to be too much. Really, if you saw two next to each other, it's going to be very difficult to tell them apart. Being small, but there's not much you can really do there. Yeah, it's going to be a couple grams between them. So the only way you can really tell for sure is DNA. And that's usually only done if you are really doing some research into a species or you're using it for breeding purposes. We don't really care if he's a boy, we know he is, but it doesn't make any difference to us because he's flying around, he's going to be very happy. Yeah, go on. It's very difficult to tell, but these guys being so small, they blend in so well, you can't actually survey them very easily, so it's really quite tough. But we know they're doing fairly okay. The population is very good. They're everywhere between the Sahara and the equator, so pretty much any tree you look at is going to be one of them, but it's just difficult to tell whether it's sustainable or not. So, yeah, a little difficult there. Yeah, go on. So he has the longest whiskers out of all our owls. They all will have whiskers, but depending on their side. No, he looks like he has a weird patch, doesn't he? Yeah. They are the longest, especially for this size bird. It's really overcompensating there. Some of the others, they'll have fairly short whiskers that just blend with their feathers. You don't notice them at all. But yeah, they all...
Aww.
Actually, you come back right.
So it partially keeps sand out of his eyes, but it's also used for feeling. So if his parents are bringing him back food and they brush on those whiskers, he's going to know it's there, but he wants to make sure he doesn't bite them in the face. So he's really, really gentle with that. Yeah, he's quite good. Other owls, they take the finger and really not care as long as they get food. So yeah, any questions here? No, fantastic. Right, I will make my way back down there in 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, easy would.
And go on, shout out your question.
There we go. What was your question?
I don't know how the owls got.
How did the owls get here?
How did the owls get here? All of them are captive bred, so he's come from another centre. There they will Thanks, mate. You popped out, and we took him on. Yeah, go on.
How big is their wingspan?
You're looking at about 25 centimetres. It's not very big at all.
Okay.
It will vary slightly between individuals, but that's pretty much all they've got.
Don't owls